It's never polite to discuss a lady's age, but it would be remiss of me not to mention that one of our next guests recently turned 70 because it hardly seems possible. Joanna Lumley, the former model and Bond girl, spent 2 decades in a role that made TV fans worldwide double over with laughter. As fashion editor Patsy Stone, she made an absolutely fabulous match for Jennifer Saunders, playing PR maven Edina Monsoon. They were the vapid pair who drank too much and thought very little. Now the acid-tongued best pals are back, this time on the big screen. The Ab Fab movie features around 60 celebrity cameos, from Barry Humphries to Kim Kardashian. I was lucky enough to have a chat with Joanna Lumley and Jennifer Saunders during their visit to Sydney. Jennifer Saunders, Joanna Lumley, it's such a great pleasure to have you on Lateline. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been 24 years since Absolutely Fabulous, the TV sitcom, first aired. Why has it taken so long to conjure up a movie?
Well, I mean, it first aired then, but we've been doing it... I mean, the last one we did was in 2012, so it's only been 4 years since we did the last TV thing. And in that time, we've made and released a film, which isn't too bad.
That's very quick.
It took us about a year beginning to end. We started thinking about it in 2014.
Well, you
started thinking about it in 1995, yes. But we started doing it not so long ago.
Yeah.
But Jennifer,
I understand the script was finally written after some less than subtle urging by Dawn French.
Yes. Well, she never believes I'll ever do anything on my own, and she's quite right. I do take a bit of time. But she, live on the radio, bet me £100,000 that I wouldn't write it.
But it was a one-way bet.
It was a one-way bet. I don't know why I took it, except that it made me write it. So, you know, sort of 6 months in, I was panicking. 8 months in, I was sweating. 10 months in, I was really sweating. And I managed to do it in the last month.
And what was your reaction when you read the script, Joanna?
It's always very exciting getting to what we call a script from Jennifer. It is a script in the end. It is eventually a script.
Yeah, often it just says, it's seen, something will happen here. Jokes to be added.
But it was such a great idea, this idea of killing Kate Moss. Was so awesome and so funny.
Kate!
Police continue to search the Thames after
How bad can this be? I mean, you know...
You have killed Kate Moss.
I want to know how you pitched that plot line to Kate Moss.
I didn't pitch it. I forgot to ask her. I'd sold the film, written it, and then someone said, how does Kate feel about it? And I said, I don't know, I haven't asked her yet. And at which point I sent her a text, said, would you be in the film? She said, send me the script.
You sent her a text?
Yes. And
what did the text say?
It said, would you like to be in the film, doing a film, would you like to be in it? She said, oh, you better send the script. So I sent her the script and she texted back, yeah, that's cool.
This is honestly how she works. It is honestly
But it's honestly, I always thought she'd be cool, because I sort of knew her. She'd done stuff with us before in French and Saunders, and so I just imagined she'd be cool about it. And she was.
I think one of my observations of this film is that it was kind of, to me, a tragicomedy.
Yes, it's a bit sad.
It's sad and sorry sort of observation of ageing. Is that what you sort of set out to achieve?
Well, no, it's sad for them. It's sad for them because they don't cope with life very well, and especially she doesn't cope with life when she hasn't got money and she hasn't got some status. So it was about them. It wasn't about ageing in general.
Because aging's good.
But everyone's so mean to Patsy and Eddie in this movie.
Are they?
Well, yes. From, you know, John Hamm.
Oh, look, well,
come
Patsy,
on.
she was stepping over the line a bit there. I mean, she has wrecked many a life, many a man's life. And she just, well, I thought she was quite charming. She offered to have another go at him. He unbelievably declined. We had good fun with John Hamm. He's a good sport, because Patsy had to have a bit of a go at him off-screen. And so I, Joanna Lumley, did with John Hamm. Just put on lots of lipstick and said, John, try to avoid me. So he did, and he got a good smear on his face. It's just method acting.
But they're not very nice people. It's not like they're spurning nice people. These are horrible women.
Yeah.
You know, often people say, they said, oh, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't you love to go out for a drink with Patsy and Eddie? And you go,
no.
That would be the worst night of your life.
They're awful people.
They don't care about anybody apart from themselves.
But then I got very sad that when you went to pitch your memoir, the editor put it so bluntly as to say that that your life may have been worth living, but it wasn't worth reading.
Well, I think that's true of a lot of memoirs myself.
yours necessarily.
Not
Joanna
Joanna's,
Lumley.
which of course has been re-released.
Yeah, but Patsy can't even write. I mean, she wouldn't be able to write. She can't remember anything since yesterday. She relies entirely on edema.
She has no memory.
They're happy people. Honestly, nobody really hurts them. This one goes into panic, but it's only because she's running out of money and running out of power.
She doesn't care what people think.
She doesn't care. She doesn't care about anybody. She hasn't got a kind thought for anybody.
I'm being trolleyed on Twitter. A woman told me I was a pariah.
Do you know what a pariah is?
Yeah. It's fish.
Look, we mentioned the fact that Joanna, you've written a memoir and it's just been re-released recently called Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the things in there that I know you talk about is dieting and the lengths models go to, the lengths you've gone to. And I think only just recently you told Graham Norton that you basically starved yourself and had one meal a day.
Well, you did when you were a model.
Well, everybody
Did you eat toilet
does.
paper?
No, never.
Oh.
That came after me.
Because the
We
diva
didn't-
did at one point.
I was a model, but we tried to keep thin, but we didn't starve ourselves. We didn't have anorexia. We didn't have any of that. We just were always a bit too fat. And the photographers would say you look too fat. So it was quite sort of robust. But I've never starved myself. I don't do anything like that. I mean, I actually don't eat very much. For instance, lunch today, I shall have an orange.
We live in an almost entirely different world than the one you first introduced Patsy and Adina into in 1992. There was no internet, for one, and the smartest thing about a phone was the fact that it wasn't attached to a wall.
Yeah.
Is it more challenging to entertain audiences in this environment where the cult of instant celebrity means anyone with a phone can be a star?
It's harder for them as characters to exist in that world because their status has changed and because they haven't kept up with it because of the age they are. It's not hard. It's not hard to make programs about it because people still watch TV and watch movies. But I think they're a bit. I mean, because in the movie, it's a bit like me. I have no more room in my brain for a lot more music or a lot more TV because there's still stuff I haven't listened to from the 80s, you know. It's like you become full of stuff and they're too full of stuff to, can I really get onto Snapchat? Have I really got time in my life? Because you realise as you get towards the end of your life, you know, you hit 50, 60, you think, well, in the next 10 years, am I really going to want to spend time on Snapchat or Tap Shit Shop app? Or do I just want to do something else or garden or meet a friend or have a drink, you know?
People still find it difficult to believe that I don't use a mobile phone.
Oh, I was going to say, you once called them harm machines. Is that right?
You do it.
What?
Am I correctly quoting you? You called them harm machines once?
You've got a doppelganger that's saying some weird things
Somebody's going about
somewhere.
saying stuff which I haven't said, but a harm machine sounds good to me.
Well, you're not on Twitter and you're not on any of those social media.
Look, it's only because I've brought up. I'm much older than most people watching this programme. I do a lot of stuff, but I really don't do sort of that stuff because I read books and I speak to people like a human being, and I walk about and see stuff. But lots of people want us to do it on screen, so that's great. I just don't do that, and I don't want to always be in touch with people.
You're not on Twitter or Facebook?
No. Don't want to do it. Don't want it because yap. You've got to have time to be bored and boring on your own, and you don't want all this yap going on. It's a bore. People find it riveting, and I find it stupendously boring.
I want to talk to you specifically about women in film because it's become such a topic of debate, and especially actually in the last month or so when Ghostbusters was also released around the same time as your film. And there was this outcry over the fact that the characters were recast as women. You know, what horror. What is your view on the debate about misogyny in the film industry?
It's
in entertainment. If you think of it, you go back to Shakespeare, you go back to Euripides, they all wrote stuff which was principally men. Occasionally there'd be particular women-type shows, but practically all entertainment has always been run by men and with men in it. And that's how it always was. So it's always going to take a bit more time.
But I think commercially, they're wrong because when something like Mamma Mia comes out and it becomes the best-selling movie of all time and everyone's shocked, but they then don't try and reproduce that. They go, well, that must have been a one-off. They forget that actually there's a massive female audience out there that goes to the movies. You know, women of a certain age go to the movies. And it seems to be extraordinary that every time there's a female film out, that it's treated as a one-off, a flash in the pan, and then go back to the same old formula.
But can I just tell you, when I watched On the Waterfront, for instance, I was Marlon Brando, so I've never thought, oh, he's not me, I need somebody who looks like me to be me. In cowboy films, I was the cowboy, or the horse. Occasionally, I was the horse sometimes. I don't get this gender thing. I don't always think that Huckleberry Finn should be rewritten for girls.
Or James Bond into Jane Bond.
If you were trying to get a film on that was with women in it, you'd have a harder job than if you had it with men. And that's the point.
Because the industry's run by men. That's all.
It's not all run by men, and that's the truth. There's a lot
run
of
by women in trousers.
It's changing, but it's changing slowly.
It's some kind of weird idea of what's commercial still.
Yeah.
I interviewed Jocelyn Moorhouse, the Australian director who directed The Dressmaker.
Excuse me. Stop it. Just stop that. We're on a proper programme.
I know, sorry, this is serious. This is late night.
Late line, but
Late line.
Go on.
But late line.
And she was musing on the fact that there aren't enough female producers choosing female directors, choosing female stories and casting strong female roles and choosing female scripts and so on. And she said it starts right there.
But I think it's just got to be mixed. Most people live in a mix. And what's depressing is when you see the male characters having women as a sideline rather than as part of their life. And I think it's not a reflection of what really happens. So that women are just there to answer questions or to feed lines, that they're not developed as proper characters. And I think that's just bad producing and bad writing, really.
Joanna, I also wanted to talk about your activism because, of course...
Are you active?
You will...
Have you got an ism?
Darling, I'm getting older, but I'm still moving about.
I don't have isms yet.
Something like 70 causes or so that you're sort of broadly aligned to.
Yeah. I can't really say no because most things that come to you go, well, that's appalling. They go, will you put your name on the letterheading? And you go, I won't be able to do much. And they go, no, just your name would help. Or sometimes they say, would you put your shoulder to this? And you go, I can. I could help maybe a bit. You see, as an actor, you've got nothing to offer. I'm not a doctor. I can't build houses or things like that, but what you can do is bring whatever fame you have so that the press would come along because you're there. The press come along because you're there. The perfect example of that was the Princess of Wales, the late Princess of Wales. Because she was there, the press went along and therefore she was able to shine light on things like landmines, which we'd been trying to do for ages. They couldn't be bothered to come. Princess of Wales puts on a flak jacket and they go, oh my God, landmines. So this is what it's for, you know what I mean? That's what fame is for.
Has all this fighting for injustice given you some sort of burning ambition to enter politics?
Never,
I know
never.
She is going to enter politics.
Well, I know that they've lobbied
Minister.
you to run for London Mayor, haven't they, in the past?
If I'd wanted to be a politician, I'd have started long ago. I literally couldn't bear it. I've had glimpses over the years into what politicians have to do. It's a thankless job, you know. Everybody hates you for a start. And now with these clever machines can make the world know how much they hate you, what they'd like to do to you. You've got to really want to do... I want to do good to people, but I think it's better... I hope in a way, if you're ever effective, outside politics is better than inside. Inside's too slow. Also, I want people to agree with me. And if they didn't, I'd sack them. So I'd be no good. I don't really believe in democracy.
What sort of a Prime Minister will Theresa May make, do you think?
Is she making? I haven't.
Well, it's only
I
early
don't know,
days.
because we've only just heard of it. I don't know. She'll probably make a fist of it. Fair go of it. There wasn't much choice, to be honest, was there? I mean, I don't know.
I think it's an almost impossible task now. I think that the world has changed so much. And I think that news is so easily, or rather information is so quickly available. I don't know how you can... I don't think these positions are going to be held anymore. And I'm looking forward to the time when Martin Sheen runs the world. It doesn't matter whether he has any policies or not, because other people will make that up. But you see Sheen's face looking like the American president. That'll do. So in the end, what we really want is people who look like Jennifer Saunders.
What do you mean?
Or somebody like you, darling. Just people like us who are on television. Or you, darling. And the thing is, you don't have to be anything, but you just are the Prime Minister. And other people can do the stuff, write your speeches. It's pretty much what happens. I think she'll be good. I think she'll be fine. And I think soon she'll be gone, and somebody else will come in, and they'll blow through, and everybody will just continue to say, aren't they awful? Because that's all we say nowadays about everybody.
Yeah.
Is it awful that Britain left the EU?
We don't know. I mean, the truth is, I think everyone didn't think it would happen, then it happened, and everyone panicked and thought it was the worst thing that could happen. But now everyone's sort of going, well, it's happened, let's get on with it.
We thought it was going to be like, literally, the ship hitting a wall. And the next day, actually, it was the same. Nothing's changed.
There's a lot of panic, a lot of high blood panic.
I did call them harm
machines. A lot
machines.
of fear.
I called them harm machines.
Did you?
I'm sure I did now. It's false memory syndrome. I'm building it in.
And did you ever eat just tissues?
Yes.
Joanna Lumley, Jennifer Saunders.
You're so kind to have us on your show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We like your jacket.
We love your jacket.
We wish we were wearing it.